Hello everyone and welcome back to this video. Today we are having what is mean by absolute value and how to solve any equation with absolute value. So first, let's start with an owl standing on a number line on 5 and the swan that is standing on 2 on the number line and the peacock is standing on -3 on the number line and an eagle is standing on -5. Their location are the numbers that I just mentioned. So what is this has to do with the absolute value? The absolute value tell us that this is just the distance from the 0 to the bird that we have. But first, let's measure the distance from 0 to every bird that we have. First, we are having from 0 to the peacock. Let's give it a name. So this distance is called y, and from 0 to our swan, we'll call it x. And from 0 to the owl, we will call it a, and from 0 to our eagle, we will call it b. Now let's see what is each distance equal to. So a will be equal to 5, x will be equal to 2, y is equal to -3, and b is equal to negative. These are just the location for each bird. Now we need to know what is the absolute value. So the definition for the absolute value of a number is its distance from 0 on the number line, and it will be always positive or 0. So we don't care about the absolute value. We don't care about the location of the bird. We actually care about the distance. We write absolute value between these two bars. So the absolute for A will be 5. Okay, the distance from 0 to the owl is just 5. The distance from 0 to our swan, which is the absolute of x, is 2. And the distance from 0 to our peacock will be equal to 3. So over here, the absolute of y eliminate the negative sign. The absolute for b will do the same thing, will eliminate the negative sign for 5, for -5, and it will become 5. Let's see this on a realistic example. So if we have an absolute value for x is equal to 4, what does this mean? That x might be located on the number line on the left or on the right from the 0. So x can be equal to 4, which is case number 1, and case number 2 will give us x is equal to -4. Let's apply absolute value on linear equation. So let's take an example. If we have absolute of 2x plus 1 is equal to 7, what does this mean? That we're gonna have case number 1 and case number 2. And case number 1, which will be, we're gonna multiply the 7 by +1. So this will be equal to, and case number 2, we're gonna multiply the 7 by -1, which will give us 2x plus 1 is equal to -7. So let's solve now each of the cases. So from case number 1, we're gonna have 2x is equal to 7. Bring 1 to the other side. You're gonna bring it with subtraction. So 7 minus 1 is equal to 6. Next, bring 2 to the other side by division. So you're gonna have x is equal to 6 divided by 2 is equal to 3. So the first x that we have is just equal to 3. Now let's go to the case number 2. We're gonna bring again 1 to the other side, and we're gonna have -7 minus 1 will give us -8. So x is equal to 2x is equal to -8. -8, bring 2 to the other side by division. You will have -8 divided by 2 is equal to -4. And x, the other x will be equal to -4. So we have x over here is equal to 3 and 4. Now let's move on to a little bit more advanced equation, which is involve inequalities. The inequality means that we are looking for a range for x, not just a specific number or two. So let's see how we can apply this. So we're gonna have case 1 and case 2. Case 1, we will have 2x minus 3 less than or equal 5. Let's solve case 1 first. Bring 3 to the other side, then you're gonna have 5 plus 3 is equal. It will become 2x less than or equal 8. Next, x will become, bring 2 to the other side by division, x will become x less than or equal 4. So this is the first hint that we have. X is a range less than or equal 4. Next, case number 2, we will have 2x minus 3, but multiply this by -1 less than or equal 5. Let's distribute the negative ones that we have. So negative 1 times 2x will give us negative 2x plus 3 less than or equal 5. Now let's solve this. Bring 3 to the other side by subtraction. You will get negative 2x less than or equal to. Next, we need to bring the negative 2 to the other side by division. Now, we know one thing about inequalities. It's gonna involve any multiplication or division by negative. When you switch any multiplication or division by negative from one side to another, we're gonna flip the sign. So over here, we're gonna have x greater than or equal to divided by negative 2 is equal to negative 1. Now, let's illustrate this visual. So if we have a number line over here, this will give us x greater than or equal negative 1 and x less than or equal 4. That means that the range that we have is between negative 1 and 4. And actually, it involves also negative 1 and 4. So if we want to write this in one equation, we will have x greater than or equal negative 1 and x greater than or less than or equal 4. We can write this also in a range form, which will include these two brackets, which mean each of these brackets mean that it includes negative 1 and 4 and all the numbers between them. Now, to go bigger, we're gonna have absolute value with quadratic equations. We're gonna have case 1, x squared minus 5x plus 4 is equal to x minus 1. And case 2, we're gonna have x squared minus 5x plus 4 is equal to, we're gonna multiply this part by negative 1, negative 1 multiplying by x minus 1. Next, let's start solving case 1. So we're gonna have is equal to x minus 1. So we're gonna bring this term to the other side of the equation, x by negative x and the negative 1 by plus 1. So we will get x squared minus 5x minus x plus 4 plus 1 is equal to 0. Now let's combine the like terms. We're gonna have minus 5x minus x will give us negative 7x and plus 4 plus 1 will give us plus 5. Now let's solve this equation by factorization. We will have x minus 1 multiplied by x minus 5. Let's solve each of these brackets to get x. So the first bracket we will set the first bracket equal to 0 and we're gonna set the next bracket also equal to 0. From the first one we will get x is equal to 1 and from the second one we will get x is equal to 5. Now let's solve case 2. So first we need to multiply negative 1 by x minus 1. We will have negative x plus 1. Now let's bring this whole thing to the other side of the equation. We will have x squared minus 5x plus x plus 4 minus 1 is equal to 0. Now let's combine the like terms. We will have x squared minus 4x plus 3 is equal to 0. Now let's factorize these. We will get x minus 3 multiplied by x minus 1 is equal to 0. Now let's find each x is equal to what? From the first bracket, we will have x minus 1 is equal to 0, which will give us x is equal to 1. And from the second bracket, we will have x minus 3 is equal to 0, which will give us x is equal to 3. And that's it for today. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye-bye.